All right, hey guys, back again for speech number 3. And this is my persuasive speech, which will be much easier for me to talk about because I can actually display how I feel. And naturally, I'm a very argumentative person when it comes to things like this. So I'm gonna get right into it. So, banking off of what I said in the last speech, the way I feel about all this is I side with the players. As a baseball player, I feel that a lot of stuff we do and a lot of the hard work, it just as an athlete in general goes unnoticed. And to think that like these guys were playing baseball from, you know, could potentially be from age 3 like me, and then to play beyond what I played, and to see all these other guys get compensated more, or have, some guys naturally will get more lucky with some of their contracts. They'll get paid, they'll get that long-term deal coming out of their first contract, and they'll be set. A lot of guys don't, and a lot of guys, like for my visual aid, this is a signed hat. I know it's not much, but this is Dansby Swanson. Dansby is a shortstop for the Atlanta Braves, my favorite baseball team. And unfortunately, due to the contract dispute that happens every offseason, we may be losing them. So it was kind of the same thing. He didn't hit free agency until we're just now hitting free agency this year, and it's projected that he's gone, unfortunately. And he is 28, almost 29. 28 to 29 is the peak of your career, but with it being your peak, you're going to get a contract for 4 to maybe 8 years if you're lucky, depending on how teams project you. And unfortunately for Dansby, they're not projecting him well. So he was drafted from Vanderbilt in 2015. He was the number 1 overall pick, and it took him a few years to break out, but he's been playing for a really small contract compared to the rest of the league and compared to what he's been doing. He's a really good defender, and he's finally coming along in his hitting. So he's wanting to be compensated like the proven shortstops in the league, like the guys in the league that have had much better luck than him, guys that got drafted out of high school or signed international contracts at a younger age than him when he got drafted at 21, I believe, coming out of Vanderbilt. So he lost 3 years. He has 3 years less on those guys. Therefore, he is hitting free agency much, much less, or hitting free agency at a much older age in terms of sports terms. So unfortunately for him, it's looking like, although he's arguably the best shortstop in the free agent pool, he might not get paid like he's the best shortstop. He might get paid anywhere from $18 to $22 million for a few years, while there's other guys that have been able to hit free agency that's been in the league longer and prove just a little bit more that are going to be on their second contract getting paid a lot more. Those guys, unfortunately for Dansby, just got more lucky than him. Dansby's going to want anywhere between an 8 or 5 to 8 year deal, which he'd be lucky to get 5. Just with him being at the peak, and potentially obviously with giving out contracts, you have to protect decline. So you're not paying a washed up player, hate saying it like that, not paying a not so great player a great player salary. Obviously the teams want to get, their worth every season, not just 1 or 2 seasons. And unfortunately for Dansby, he's not going to get the stability. He's either going to get the money for shorter, or he's going to get the long term for less money. And unfortunately for him, he has to pick. So the banking, or going off of what I said last video and last speech, he hit free agency really late. He's closer to the end of his career, more than likely, than the beginning of his career. And for him, that really sucks, because he's very deserving of a lot of money. I'm not sure if he's going to get it. And unfortunately, that's just a reality that a lot of these baseball players and just athletes in general have to face. But baseball has a really complex and unfortunate contract structure, and the way all that plays out for them, it's the most brutal of all the sports, in my opinion. And I'm glad I can say that now with this being my persuasive essay, or not essay, speech. And yeah, unfortunately, just as this situations like this happen all the time, but it's easy for me to talk about this because this is my favorite team. This is one of my favorite players, and unfortunately, that's the business side of baseball. It's not all just playing a game. It's a business too for all of the guys involved. Dansby deserves his money. He deserves the long-term deal, and he deserves to be where he wants to be. And the owners wouldn't be opposed to giving him the money if he wasn't projected any differently because of his age and when he was brought up and all that. But if he were to hit free agency earlier in his career, he could have gotten a deal for, if he hit free agency after his first year, his first contract was up, I believe it was a 2-year deal. If he would have hit free agency at 25, he could have been on his second big contract instead of him making, I know $5 million isn't a lot of money, but that's roughly what he was making. And for what he was providing, he's worth more than $5 in contract terms. And it just sucks for him and a lot of these players that don't hit free agency early enough, that they're viewed as a potentially declining player in the near future, so they won't get the money that they've earned and they feel that they've earned. Just teams won't pay them because unfortunately you have to project, and that's just the business side of baseball. But for players like this that just don't hit free agency early enough, they'll either sign long-term deals that end up not making them as much money as they earn, or you have to wait to hit free agency years down the road. And both is kind of like a lose-lose for the players. So I side with the players on this, and I feel that the MLB and the Players Association and the owners, everybody just needs to come together and just realize that the players are the ones making the money out on the field, because if you don't have players, obviously you don't have a team. You don't have the team, the owners aren't making money. So the players need to be the priority in this. And I think the MLB just needs to make a change to allow the players to actually be put first and allow them to have a little bit more say-so over their careers and over their contract disputes. They should be given all of the keys, to do what they want with their career. They're the ones who've worked all this time to get up to this the position that they're in. So it sucks to see for guys like Dansby and everyone else who has to go through this, that unfortunately they're probably going to retire not making the money that they earned and the money they feel they've earned over their entire career. It's just really unfortunate, and I really believe that the MLB really needs to make a change about the contract disputes. Thank you.